Today, we're taking a look at possibly the most aesthetically badass game currently in early access, Killing Floor 2. Developed and published by Tripwire Interactive, it is the sequel to the hugely popular Killing Floor. Please keep in mind the following video contains graphic simulated violence. Story is not the main focus of the game, at all, but it is present in the background. Killing Floor 1 saw hordes of biological weapons, or Zeds, being unleashed on the world, mostly focusing on Europe, by a company known as Horizon Biotech. Killing Floor 2 takes place 1 month after the initial attack, and is supposed to show the efforts by a small group of civilians, soldiers, and mercenaries to retake overrun territory. The core of Killing Floor 2 is wave-based, cooperative, first-person survival. The main gameplay consists of a team of 1 to 6 players surviving against waves of AI enemies, though a PvP mode was added recently. Players choose a character, which is entirely cosmetic, and one of 8 perks as of making this video, though it's important to note that the game is in early access and more are planned. Perks serve as a class would in other games, defining playstyle and weapon choice. They are as follows. Berserker, the close quarters character, a focus on health, endurance, and bashing and slicing Zeds. Commando, medium range, pure tradition, uses standard assault rifles. Not too interesting, but reliable. Medic, low damage but boasts healing abilities. They have a kind of awesome modular weapon that upgrades to different types of guns. It's cool. Support, my personal favorite, uses powerful shotguns to turn Zeds into paste while also focusing on helping allies. Firebug, lights up crowds of Zeds to deal damage over time with intense flames. Demolition, low rate of fire and ammo, but big explosions. Good for large groups and tough enemies. Gunslinger, use a range of pistols, mainly dual-wielding them to gun down Zed after Zed. They pair great with almost any other class to hammer down enemies. Sharpshooter, the most recent addition, they use heavy, slow, long-range weapons to deal heavy, single-shot damage. Every perk maintains the core gameplay while adding a unique twist, and when combined, they can make a powerful squad. Of course, it doesn't mean the game will just hand you victory. Difficulty is something integral to the identity of Killing Floor. Ranging from normal to hell on earth, the game is far from easy. In fact, the Steam store page boasts about just how their difficulty works. Rather than simply increasing enemy health to make them bullet sponges, they will actually change behaviors and use new attacks as you move through the difficulties. But even on normal, every kind of enemy poses a threat. Even the quote-unquote common type of enemy, the Claw, can prove exceptionally dangerous. While its attacks don't do a lot of damage, it has the ability to grab a player, keeping them in place until killed or knocked away. It goes without saying, but of course as you make your way through waves, stronger and stronger enemies will appear, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and intricacies. Gorefasts are skinless, machete-handed sprinting enemies. They make great harassers against fleeing players. Crawlers are low-health, spider-like mutants. They stay low to the ground, and their threat generally comes from their lower visibility. Stalkers are mostly invisible enemies that will try to get close to their target before uncloaking to attack. Bloats are big old fat enemies that will vomit acid on the player to do damage over time. Sirens deal damage to health, ignoring armor through high-pitched screaming. Their scream will also destroy grenades, protecting groups of Zeds. Husks shoot fireballs at range that can be pretty easily dodged, but when they hit hard. Skrakes are ticking time bombs with a chainsaw. They will slowly stalk towards the player until provoked, wherein they will charge at the player to do massive damage. Fleshpounds function like Skrakes, but deal more damage and behave far less predictably. It can be a lot of information to take in at once, but with time, with the game and community, you'll eventually get a grasp of it all, but community is something that has suffered a little as time has passed. First and foremost is an unavoidable fact. Killing Floor 2 has been in early access much longer than initially promised, and updates have been stretched far apart. The addition of microtransactions of cosmetic items, while not too egregious compared to the DLC practices of the first game, seem to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Additionally, it seems some members of the community have very different ideas in mind for the direction of features, balancing, and development, some of which I agree with. For me, the largest problem is also a feature of the game. As someone who has about 100 hours in the original, 2 feels remarkably similar. While 2 is undoubtedly a significant upgrade, its similarities to the cult classic status of the original and its extended stay in early access have honestly harmed it. But it's a shame, really. I recently came back to the game after a bit of a break and really enjoyed what I found. Support, medic, and gunslinger feel really fresh and enjoyable. So if you haven't checked out the game yet, I'd recommend giving it a shot while it's on sale for the summer sale, and is currently holding a double XP and item drop weekend. And if you have already checked it out, I'd suggest taking another look to see if there's anything there for you now. With an incredibly fitting and kick-ass soundtrack, over-the-top gore and blood effects, and tight, well-defined gameplay, Killing Floor 2 is exactly what you'd want in a sequel. I, for one, am fascinated, and can't wait to see what Tripwire pushes out over the coming months, hopefully, on their way towards a finished version. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed or got something from this video. If you did, leaving a like or subscribing would be super awesome. I run a small channel, so any support counts immensely and keeps me making content. Until next time, beautiful people.